Hello, we're Tim and Maddy Harland from Permaculture Magazine, and we are in our 30-year-old permaculture garden in the coronavirus lockdown in early April, and we are just looking for projects to do, and we have a wonderful project here. We have had an ongoing battle trying to grow our brassicas against all the odds of pigeons and white cabbage butterfly, and we thought, right, we're going to utilise this space and make a brassica bed that we're going to net and hopefully actually properly grow some brassicas and some Brussels sprouts for our Christmas lunch. So here's the basic bed which we've already prepared. We cut up the pond liner. We found there were lots of tree roots and things underneath, so we dug that out and we've put compost in it, and this bed is basically ready to go. And the basic raised bed structure of it has, as with all the materials, apart from the butterfly netting, been scavenged. So this is really very much about making do with what we've got, and we'll take you through how we're going to make it.
So this is the base of the frame, and again I didn't have a batten long enough to run the whole length of the raised bed, so I found a little bit of metal that was an old runner from a beehive super, and I drilled holes in the metal, and I've joined the batten on both sides. The reason I did this was I didn't want to add two fat bits of batten and change the thickness of this frame, because it's going to have butterfly netting coming flush and underneath it. This part of the frame, the raised bed is high, and this is much lower because that's all I had. So I decided to make a virtue of this, and so I've made the end pieces fit snugly down so that the batten sits on top of this part of the raised bed and actually knocks up against it. So in winds I'm hoping that it's not going to shift too much. So that is a little bit about a very simple rectangular base.
So we had two planks from which we wanted to extract our uprights. We needed 6 uprights, so we cut each plank lengthways to give us 3 of our uprights from each plank, and that's given us our 6 that we require, and we've cut them to 155 centimetres in length, which is our required height. In place with the cross struts which will hold the netting on the top, but of course you can't leave it like this because it's really weak, so we need to brace it. So we're going to run a length along the top and then inverted V braces on both of the sides, and then later on I'm going to add some little ply triangles to brace it from the side, because we get quite strong westerlies in this garden and I don't want to lose the structure or weaken the structure. So being locked down, we've run out of wood, of course, so we're going to resort to bamboo for bracing, and we grow the bamboo, which is a Phyllostachys Bissettii.
Thank you. Phyllostachys Bissettii, which is edible shoots. But of course it gets away, and then you get fantastic bamboos like this, which I cut down yesterday. So we're going to cut these up and we're going to run them along the top, and that's the next part of the job. So the next stage for us is to put the netting on, the final stage, and we have decided to first of all net the longest length and the roof and then the other side in one piece. But one thing we want to do, even though our cage is removable and theoretically we can lift it up and carry it away and put it somewhere else in the garden, we want to also to be able to access very easily one side of the cage so that we can weed, water and harvest. So we're back on a glorious day. We've taken a bit of a pause and gone off and done some work on Permaculture Magazine and on the forthcoming issue. And I just wanted to say a little bit about pause and proof of concept. So fitting the netting and getting it neat and having the opening is probably the most challenging part about brassica cages. And so we kind of knew what we were going to do, but we wanted to just take a break for a couple of days and think through exactly how we would attach the netting that is the removable part of the brassica cage so that we can get into weed and water and plant and harvest. So we have this thing in our house called proof of concept, which comes from a very dear friend of ours who's an engineer, and when she does any small build projects she always has a period of time before everything's fixed, before she goes on to the next stage, just to test out what the next stage will be and have this idea called proof of concept. So that's what we've been doing. We've been pausing, mucking about slightly with little bits of bamboo and looking at the ties that we want to use and just spending these couple of days with proof of concept. Incredibly useful to do for any project.
Well, here we are. As you can see, our finished brassica cage. We've already planted our Brussels sprouts, our red Russian kale, and they should be lovely and protected now from a lot of the elements, cabbage white butterflies and the pigeons. This year we shall have brassicas. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do subscribe for many more that are coming up, and check out all the hundreds of other ones that are already on the site. And head over to the Permaculture Magazine website at permaculture.co.uk, where you'll find many other videos and inspiring stories and very practical, wonderful, self-reliant tips. Thank you.